What's up guys, this is the Samsung Galaxy S4 and this is the HTC One, and in this video we're going to be putting them up in a head-to-head battle to see which one comes out on top. So stay tuned and let's find out which one is the winner. The Galaxy S4 has a full 5-inch 1920 by 1080 Super AMOLED display. The back of the phone is plastic, and this isn't relatively a bad thing. You get better reception and the phone is extremely light at only 4.59 ounces. You also get a 13 megapixel camera on the back with an LED flash. On the bottom we have a speaker which is relatively loud. On the bottom of this phone you will find the micro USB slot to charge up your phone. On the top of the GS4 you will find a headphone jack and an IR blaster to use this phone with your TV. You can also take off the back plastic plate on the Galaxy S4 and you will have access to the 2600 milliamp battery, and you also can find the micro SIM slot here, and you also have the micro SD expandable storage up to 64 gigabytes in size. On the left side of the Galaxy S4 you will find the volume up and down buttons. If you flip it over to the right side of the phone you will find the power button that's very easy to press to turn the screen on and off. The HTC One has a 4.7-inch 1920 by 1080 Full HD display with 468 pixels per inch. The Galaxy S4 has 441 pixels per inch, and the daylight viewing on this was awesome. On the Galaxy S4, it wasn't as good to me, but on the back of this phone you will find the 4 ultra-pixel camera, and right next to that is the LED flash. On the left side of this phone you will find a micro SIM slot, so you can use this with your micro SIM card, and on the top you have a headphone jack and an IR blaster that also serves as the sleep-wake button. On the bottom is the micro USB for charging. Both of these phones have different button layouts. On the Galaxy S4 on the right, you do have these buttons that you can't see right now because of the exposure on my camera, but you do have a back button located to the right of that home button. In the middle is the home button, and on the very left is this settings button where you can press this on almost any screen and you have multiple options that you can pull up on the Galaxy S4. With the HTC One you do have two buttons. The HTC logo is not a button. You have a home button that serves as the multitasking button as well, and Google Now, and you have one back button. HTC One has these dual stereo speakers with boom sound and Beats audio. They're very loud and very crisp. They sound really good. The Galaxy S4 has one speaker on the back, and it does sound loud, but you could easily put your finger over it and muffle the sound. I think the design category of these phones easily goes to the HTC One with the aluminum and no gap construction. Yes, the Samsung Galaxy S4 is really light because of that plastic backing, and it can also be easily fixed and replaced because if the back cracks open or breaks, you could easily replace that back panel, but I think the aluminum construction of the HTC wins the design. Before we dive into the software portion of this video, I want to talk about specifications on each phone. The HTC One has a 1.7 GHz quad-core processor with 2 GB of RAM. The version of the Galaxy S4 that I have is the octa-core version. This means it has a 1.6 GHz quad-core Cortex A15 processor, and on top of that it has a quad-core 1.2 GHz Cortex A7 processor. So it's basically simulating 8 cores on the Galaxy S4. Both of these phones are running Android. The HTC One is on 4.1.2 Jelly Bean. The Galaxy S4 is on 4.2.2 Jelly Bean. With the Galaxy S4, you can add widgets and applications to the lock screen. On the HTC One, you're limited to quick launching the things that are in your dock, or you can go straight into the weather or the time straight from the lock screen on the HTC One. HTC has developed a new version called Sense 5 for their new HTC One, and the Galaxy S4 is definitely running TouchWiz. Now you can see that you can touch this little settings button here on TouchWiz to get into your widgets and settings on the home screen of the Galaxy S4. With the HTC One, you have to tap and hold on the screen to get into something similar. Notifications on both of the phones are handled pretty similarly, but the Galaxy S4 has these cool quick toggles that I couldn't figure out how to activate on the HTC One. TouchWiz and Sense 5 handles multitasking a little bit differently. On the HTC One, you have to double tap the home button there to activate it, and then you can simply swipe up to kill the application that you want, and on the Galaxy S4, you just have to simply slide to the right. New with the Galaxy S4 are these cool features and kind of gimmicky features that you can activate when using the Galaxy S4, such as Air View, which allows you to hover your finger over the phone and you can see more information about a certain subject. Air Gestures, so you can wave your hand in front of the Galaxy to go between pages and stuff, and most of these features I'd probably never use. Both of these phones are really silky smooth. I haven't experienced any lag with either of the phones, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to put in some benchmarking performances of both of these phones. So the first one we have here is Geekbench 2. I decided to run this to see which one comes out on top, and easily the Galaxy S4 kills the HTC One, almost 1100 points more than the HTC One, probably due to that octa-core processor. Now the next one here, surprisingly, the HTC One actually beat out the Galaxy S4 just barely, but I'm not sure what that was due to during this benchmark. The camera software on both of these phones are very advanced, some of the best that I've ever seen on a smartphone so far. Starting this off with the Galaxy S4, there's lots of cool scenes and modes that you can take. One really cool one is that you can even pull up the front-facing camera while you take a picture with your rear-facing camera, so you can see what you're looking at while the subject in your picture is also being taken a picture of. And it's definitely cool to see that, what your reaction is at the time of the moment that you're taking a picture of them. And you also have these cool share options as well. You can share some stuff with Buddy Photo Share, Chat On, and some remote stuff as well. You also have auto night detection, and you can even go back into your picture and then customize it even more. So you can add some filter effects to it, kind of like Instagram, and it's definitely cool to go back into your picture and have all these really awesome editing features on the Galaxy S4. You will find some similar software on the HTC One while using the camera. It's very good, and you can see that you can add some Instagram-like effects as well with the camera on the HTC One, and they're definitely cool. The HTC One also has this effect called Zoe, where you can take a picture and then you can basically have one subject moving, and it looks pretty cool when you see it in action. But I'll stop talking about these features here for a second, and I'll show some video of the Galaxy S4, some pictures of the Galaxy S4, and then we'll compare those with the pictures and video taken with an HTC One. So sit back and enjoy. One comparison that I'm going to make with these phones is the call quality. A lot of people leave this out, but it's very important in a phone. So I used the unlocked version of both of these phones, and I was using a T-Mobile SIM card. For me, the HTC One had very good sound quality, possibly due to the Beats audio and the stereo speakers, and the Galaxy S4 was also really good with call quality. Battery life is a huge factor when you're taking a phone into consideration. The HTC One had a decent battery. With a full day of usage, I got around 10 hours of battery life with the HTC One. The Samsung Galaxy S4 was a little bit better. I was getting between 14 to 15 hours of full day usage. In the United States, you can find the Galaxy S4 on 6 different carriers, including AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, Cricket, US Cellular, and Verizon. The HTC One, you will be able to find this phone on Sprint, T-Mobile, and AT&T. Currently, Verizon has no plans for the HTC One, so that is really unfortunate for them. It's really hard for me to declare a winner between both of those phones. You really have to have certain trade-offs that you want to pick for yourself. The HTC One has a much better design than the Galaxy S4, and it has better speakers in general as well. The Galaxy S4 has a better looking display in my opinion, but that doesn't mean the HTC One has a bad display. And the Galaxy S4 is also easier to fix, it's much lighter to hold, and the software is more up to date than the HTC One. But you have to take other factors into consideration when choosing between one of these phones, and this is where the real bias starts, is in the software. The HTC One uses Sense 5, which is great, and the Samsung Galaxy S4 uses TouchWiz, which is also really polished and really smooth. That's why it's really hard for me to declare a winner for one of these phones, and it's really a good thing that we've come to a point in time where it's hard to choose a winner between phones. That just means that we're getting to the point where phones are absolutely amazing in almost every single way. I'm gonna let you guys decide in the comment section below. Tell me which your favorite phone is. Do you prefer Sense 5 or TouchWiz? Anyways guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe if you have not. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.